All right. Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Eric and Val. And we are talking about the church in quotes, right?
Yeah.
Not the assembly of believers, but what has become uh, a replacement for almost.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's called the church in modern English, which
Mhm.
means like I'm going to church, so you're gonna go to this building, and it's Sunday or Wednesday. And the reason we're having this as our topic today is because of something Val encountered on a Telegram channel.
Yeah. I just saw someone commenting, a Christian girl commenting on Beyonce's new song, Church Girl. And basically what she was saying is that Christians shouldn't act the way that Beyonce was portraying some a church goer acting. And that shouldn't be the thing. But my whole thing is that's exactly what church is now. A place just to go and do your good deed of the week that you went and showed your face and um and then live however you want to live the rest of the week.
Right. So this girl on Telegram was posting this video of Beyonce saying like, basically like, oh, I can't believe this, right?
Yeah, like how sacrilegious and da 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 like
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But what I'm saying is that there's so much truth in Beyonce's video based on what church has actually become.
right. And so what you were telling me earlier is that we've got another example of inversion.
Mhm.
So this girl replying to this Beyonce video is like, "Oh, I can't believe it. Look, this is not the church." Well, no, actually, you're right. So Beyonce
actually
is
is.
again telling the truth.
Yeah.
This is the whore of Babylon,
Mhm.
and it has nothing to do with the ecclesia, the assembly of believers,
Mhm.
which is the church, the like actual church. Yeah. So what we've got in terms of like formal stuff that we're going to go through is I wrote an article on this topic last year. Where is it? Do I have it up? I put it in our Discord, right?
Yeah, it pretty much sums up
Here it is.
kind of everything
Yep.
that we want to be talking about.
Yeah.
So should we go there?
Yeah, go there. Put us up in the corner, I guess. Got this article I wrote in response to, at the time, the big news was church, like, quote, church. Okay. It's one of these corporations in Canada, I think, was heavily under attack because the guy that's the pastor, he was not wanting to close it down.
Oh, based on the social distancing and
All of that
mandates
stuff.
and all
Yeah.
that crap that went down. Yeah.
Yeah, and this might have even been one of the guys that was like trying to have service in the parking lot or something like that. I don't know who it is. I forgot. It's been a while now, but the gist of it is he wasn't fully shutting down.
Yeah.
And the government came in with force, which is all they do, and imposed their will and like shut it down. And so people were like in an uproar about it.
Yeah.
And then I had another revelation of inversion. I was out there telling people, actually, that's a good thing because it's the evil side doing like, putting all their cards on the table.
Well, it's just showing what they've already done to the churches.
Well, it was revealing who the real head of the church is.
Correct.
Not the believers.
Yeah.
But
they're exerting their power that they would have been given.
That they have power over. Yeah, and that's what this article goes over. So I'll start reading this now. And then Val has a bunch of stuff that she's been doing, taking notes on throughout the day. So here we go. So during these last few years, just before the harvest at the end of this age, the church is under attack, as expected. Many churches are being forcefully shut down, and this will only continue. While some may see it as a bad thing, I see the opposite. What? Crazy? Nope. Informed. Okay. Stick with me and learn something. Any church that registers with the state is now part of the state and must obey its master.
Mm-hmm.
A church that registers with the state does so by becoming a corporation. And you can go get a copy of their documents of incorporation from that state to prove it, just like a business would. The key root word components of corporation is the word corpse. Instead of being part of the body, living body, of Christ, a church corporation has joined with the dead body of the state.
Where have we seen this before?
Oh, and if they do something wrong, they'll be summoned to make an appearance because, they're dead, Necromancy. Okay. So continuing on here, what we commonly call churches today are referred to in the Bible as daughters of the great whore. Basically just small little versions of the Catholic Church, the great whore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just to kind of sneak in here a few little things that I wrote about this. I was looking into the 501c3, which is the paperwork that they're filling out to become a state entity, essentially.
The corporation classification, according to IRS, yeah.
But most people, these churches, don't understand that they're completely excused from filing tax returns and that they don't even need any of this government intervention. Nothing.
Just by doing nothing, taking no action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy that wrote this article I was reading said that he was surprised that the churches seek the permission of the government to be excused for paying taxes they didn't owe in the first place.
Right.
So it's just like they're just so willing to give up their rights or whatever you'd want to call them. I guess we have to be careful with our terms.
And do you know why they do that? Do you know why they actually go forth and make the corporation and give it a name? Blah 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 church. Do you know why?
Well, so they can accept money, right?
So they can accept money.
Yeah. So I wrote that too. That's the holdup that they have. Churches who receive tax exempt donations aren't in compliance with the law. So say you're not a 501c3 and your churchgoer, is tithing and then goes and registers that money that they gave that church to the IRS and said, hey,
as a donation,
I want my tax exemption from giving this church money.
Yeah.
And then if they're not in compliance with, their 501c3, then they're in trouble. So it breaks down to the fact that you shouldn't even be accepting money in a church. It shouldn't even be a setup the way it is today. It's just we're in over our heads when it comes to
and where all the confusion comes from is this is a colliding of the two worlds that we've been basically starting to reveal in our other videos, where in which there is this world of basically just natural man, just man on earth, goodwill and handshakes and sharing stuff. And then there's the realm of Caesar, as it was in the biblical times.
Yeah, I was going to point at that real quick.
Yeah.
What I have right here is that what Jesus said, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's.
The famous verse.
And to God the things that are God's.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to show that this is legal tender. This is not God's. This is...
Yep. And this gets into something that a lot of other people are getting clued into these days, and that there is the difference between legal and lawful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is one world and the other world. The legal world, if you zoom all the way into it, Val, so people can see, it says this note is legal tender. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's Caesar's world. That's the Pope's commercial system world. Yeah. That's as it says right there, United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
That's a corporation
mm-hmm.
that has nothing to do with the other world.
Yeah.
Which is just which is men,
the land,
women, land, cows.
like what I pointed
like
here.
norm.
So this verse in Leviticus is something that a lot of the pastors, preachers, whatever, want to point towards to get their churchgoers to tithe, because
Sure.
they have this whole big building to pay for, so they need money to go along with that. And it's funny.
There's like one other verse, I think. I can't remember it. I don't think it's this one is the primary.
But I just think this is so great, because this is actually saying the exact opposite of how they're taking it. Tithe of the land.
Right.
The seed of the land, the fruit of the tree. That is all God's.
Yeah.
And he's entitled to it. And that was Old Testament, you know, before Christ came.
And so really what we're getting down to is the main point of our entire
that the church is not the building.
Us talking is that there are these two worlds, and if you're dealing in legal tender persons, that is another god.
Yeah.
That is you having idols and other gods.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's go back to your
Sure. Where am I here? Yeah. I think I read this, but here we go. What we commonly call churches today are referred to in the Bible as daughters of the great whore of Babylon, the Catholic Church. The whore, I say it right here. Yeah, the whore that rides the beast, being the Catholic Church itself. The beast being, the Roman Empire at the time.
Yeah.
But we are called
and still today.
Yeah, I mean, it's just we're just in the feet. World empire from Daniel, from Nebuchadnezzar's vision. But it's just, again, the part of the same vision body, the same thing, world empire. But we are called to come out of her, my people. Come out of who? Her. So referring to the great whore, referring to the Catholic Church and all of her whores and all the world religions, basically.
Yeah.
Matthew 6:24 sums it up perfectly. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. I think the King James says mammon right there, but I think that's actually a little obfuscated, because most people are not going to be like directly connecting that with money, like actual money. Like, no, it's God and money. Yeah. Oh, and it just so happens that that's the whole commercial system and the legal system and businesses and bank accounts and legal persons. And that's all based around money.
Yep.
The other is just the physical realm of men and as I said, handshakes and promises and just doing good to your neighbor. Oh, we got too many chickens this week, or too many eggs this week. Let's just bring them around and see who's hungry.
Exactly.
Like in the real, as the, to always point to the Matrix analogy. It's so perfect. Okay, so I say yes. The state, church, corporations serve money. The only reason corporations exist is to play a part in the game of international commerce. The Antichrist's system.
Yep.
I am being literal here when I say state corporations serve money. Every year, thousands of new church corporations serve money. Every year, thousands of new church corporations open shop. Fresh, young pastors with no experience, not qualified to be an elder.
Well, straight out of seminary that lied to them about pretty much.
Straight out of,
a lot of things.
Extreme indoctrination.
Yeah.
They come out with an inversion of every biblical principle. They are 100% wrong on everything. Because if they had the Holy Spirit in them, they'd be running out of those seminaries.
Or highly questioning it.
And trying to take some people with them.
Yeah.
So they, sexy church title and logo, graven image, slick hair, tight jeans, of course, stage makeup, because that's, we know what the real church needs. Big smiles.
Yeah.
All a deception with precisely zero biblical precedent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Usually the new pastor is fresh out of some, yeah, fresh because they're children. Usually the new pastor is fresh out of some sort of seminary, has no actual life experience, and would not qualify as a biblical elder. Typically these pastors, children, have a pile of debt from their indoctrination, and are opening up their church business to pay it off.
Yep.
I can see the look of guilt in the young, deceived pastor's eyes. I actually can physically, like almost all the time. It's very hard for them to have that like not there. You know, like the whole eyes is the gateway to the soul or door.
Yeah.
That's true. You can see the I know I'm doing something wrong look in their eyes. Even if they're like 23 years old, that look is there. Subconsciously, they all know they're doing something wrong. Yep. And I was gonna literally play that one Morpheus phrase where he's telling, like basically you know that you just get the sense that there's something wrong.
Yeah.
But you can't. He had to show it to him. He couldn't tell him. Yeah. So if a real church, which is nothing more than an assembly of believers, was to get together, there are no legal grounds, because they don't exist in the legal world.
Yep.
There are no legal grounds for bothering them. In the context of this article here, it's, that church was shut down.
Yeah.
But truly, in all cases of state-owned church corporations, the state is the master, the creator, and is in the right to do anything to their property.
Yeah.
The thing they created.
I mean, they have a say over what they speak to their congregation at that point.
There are limitations.
There's limitations
on what they can say. They can't basically, to sum it up, they can't get into political stuff.
Correct. But anything that the government has legalized, even, same-sex marriage, abortion, well, that's null and void at this point.
Yeah, well, anything that
just
they
anything
deem,
that they've
a political, anything that quote government is wrapped up in, they can't talk about it.
Yeah.
So, and that's for a reason.
Which is crazy to me.
Because
I don't know how you could ever sign up to be okay with that.
And that gets into that gets into the principle of, there's that meme. It's like, you want to find out who your master is? Just look to see who you can't criticize.
Yeah.
So that's why you can't talk about the state in general, politics, which is the state, at a quote church. It's because that's the actual master. They don't want them bad-mouthing their master. So the actual meaning of separation of church and state, a common phrase, is not truly comprehended by most. The true boundaries of the state exist far beyond what most people believe. State-owned corporate church, you're in the state. Church coffers, nope. State-owned corporate bank account. Traveling in your car is a little deviation from the church thing, but nope. You're engaged in commerce as a driver that is transporting persons. Legal world. Sending your children to the expensive private church school?
Yeah.
Nope. That church school is owned by the state and subject to its rules above God's. Like, oh, hey, church school, you're not going to have a government class. We're telling you that this happens because we know you're going to be getting into government stuff, which is potential to criticize the master.
Yep.
Simply put, the state is everywhere, and the real church is almost non-existent. But I feel like that's changing because, we've started to say that we're in Aquarius now, and the Holy Spirit is being poured out.
Yeah.
From the water bearer. Like V for Vendetta, God is in the rain. Like it's being poured out from the water bearer. The Holy Spirit's out and about, and whoever has a bucket, whoever's ear is open to hearing the truth is going to get an earload.
Well, that and just going back to your first paragraph there is that the church was under attack, and it was actually a good thing.
That's the whole point of this article, is that that's a good thing.
Yeah. So a lot of people are meeting outside, in their homes, in small groups.
Yeah.
As we should.
Yeah. That's the fun other example. It's just always inversion.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the worldly person thinks, or the believer that's still wrapped up in the affairs of Caesar, whatever they believe, whatever they've been told, is generally wrong.
Yeah.
And is generally bringing them to destruction.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there are so many problems in the church. Like, oh, that pastor slept with that person, and
yeah, exactly.
And there's embezzlement at this other church down the road. That's
because they let the world creep into the church.
Yeah. And so those
are worldly acts.
Yeah, there's motivations based on corruption, greed,
mm-hmm.
all these things, because it's literally just a business. There are profits on the line. Now, they're not going to call them exactly the same word, like it's not literally profits, but if it takes $2 million a year for that pastor to live the pastor life.
Yeah. You're talking mega churches, yeah.
Oh, even churches that have just a couple thousand people.
That's a lot. That's big.
Well, there's thousands of them.
Yeah, I know.
That are in that boat.
Yeah.
They've got to feel like they live the pastor life. The church is downtown, so the pastor has to live in a house downtown, which is millions of dollars.
Yeah.
He needs of course, the extreme example is that guy with the jets that was getting all attacked. Who is it? Copeland? Yeah, another example that guy is just terrible. He's got all these jets and stuff.
Well, yeah, I can think of many mega church leaders.
But of course, yeah, there's thousands of them in that middle ground where you're thinking, oh, it's just small church or whatever. And
yeah.
No, he's got $150,000 a month coming in.
Oh, yeah.
What are we going on here now? Should I just resume? Yeah. So the last part here, I read that. And yes, so the solution is easy. Come out of her. And this is really the gist of it here. What I just said, the Spirit of God that lives inside me removed me from the state-owned churches long ago, and all believers need to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's easy to do. You just stop. You just stop participating.
Stop signing up for it.
Yeah.
Like all these churches are doing voluntarily. It's
all you voluntarily selling yourself into slavery.
Mm-hmm.
All through the Old Testament, multiple people sold themselves into slavery. Themselves.
Mm-hmm.
No one came by and
just by their acts. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Remember, most of the time when you have a problem, you are at fault, even if you don't realize it yet. Isn't it great to realize that we did this to ourselves? So we voluntarily joined up with the dead body of the state.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about we as in just generally believers over the last many decades. And I feel like the momentum of this is falling away. So it's good to see. And we're probably beating a dead horse here.
Yeah. But still, it's so important.
Yeah. So this video needs to be titled something to get the people's attention that are still wrapped up in the legal church, that system. Your church is evil. So our only battle is knowing the truth and acting on it. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of God, and I will also forget thy children. In other words,
that's huge right there.
In other words, you deviate from the normal realm of God,
mm-hmm.
and you go into Satan's kingdom, and you and your children will suffer. It's going to take them now generations of realizing the wrong. And that's where we're at in America.
This is where we are.
with the greatest generation. Oh, wait a second. Principle of inversion? They were the worst generation.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
Oh, I know.
Because they were the first ones that were just all around during the full Federal Reserve System, everything 100% in play.
Yep.
And then right when everything was 100% in play, all the the Federal Reserve banks were in place. The school loan system, everyone feeling like they have to go to college. That was the greatest generation, the worst generation. They were the ones that went all in on Satan's kingdom.
I mean, even around that time, I feel like, isn't that when birth certificates even started becoming a thing? That hasn't
in the 30s.
Been that long.
In the 30s. Yep. And then when they got to be adults, that was the greatest what they call the greatest generation.
Okay. Oh,
so
yeah, that's
the
right.
greatest generation is literally the worst generation.
Wow.
There's the title of the video. No, it could be.
But yeah.
Because what if that's like Hosea 4:6 here? They forgot the law of God.
Exactly.
And God forgot the next couple of generations. And now we're just starting to rebound. That's where we are.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Geez, I don't have anything else. As usual, I'll put the link to this blog post of mine I wrote last year.
Yeah, I love this.
In the description. Great. It was just another one of those things where I was like inspired, and I wrote this out in like, half an hour or something.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching.
Catch you next time.